Greetings from Costa Rica. Everyone is always asking where the big opportunities are in Guanacaste. They want to know where they can spend a very small amount of money today and someday have a huge return on investment. Today, we're going to take a road trip through one of those spots that I feel fits that profile. I'm here in Playa Junquillal, where yes, we have a paved highway running in front of the commercial center. We've got 30-minute access to great supermarkets in Playa Tamarindo, on and on and on. But if you're really looking to get less expensive properties that someday are going to have a greater value, lots of people have already had the idea to invest in this kind of community or in Playa Tamarindo. So when I say it ain't pretty, we're gonna have to find some spots that are on unpaved roads that are a little bit further from amenities, and essentially we're gonna head down to the rough and ready Wild West areas of Guanacaste, where you can still find extremely affordable options for properties that someday could be absolutely valuable. Stay tuned. In Guanacaste, Costa Rica, we are very lucky to have some great paved highways leading out to beach areas. However, the beach areas with those paved highways tend to be the places that attract the most investment and really the most foreigners. So if you're looking for great opportunities with low prices, you typically have to go off the beaten path down a road that might look like this. Today, we'll be going south from an intersection called Las Tucas. Someday, this could be a totally changed area because this road might be paved. That's where the incredible speculative potential ROI comes from this kind of property. Yeah, you have to buy in early when the area still looks like this. It's gonna be rough, and you need to drive a vehicle that looks a little bit like our 2000 Prado here. It also needs to sound a little bit like this. Thanks very much for joining us today for this road trip. We'll be heading south to look for some unexplored opportunities in Guanacaste. So about 15 minutes down the road, we're in our first truly Costa Rican community south of that paved highway, which is Playa Venado. The beach is a few minutes behind me in that direction. It's a place where you would never see anybody except for local families fishing, some national tourists coming out here in holiday times, but it's gonna feel like the absolute lost world. As an update on the road, yeah, those 15 minutes we were on some potholed, sort of interesting road, but here in Venado, we're back on that semi-asphalt stuff that the government is laying down in a lot of portions of the road throughout this area. The great thing about that covering is that it keeps the dust down, and so in these communities, people's lives have changed a ton over the last few years where yes, this was a dusty, potholed highway the whole way, and slowly you're seeing it now along through here. The quality of life has gone way up because that dust is now mitigated with the road covering. We're here in the town center of the community of Venado. Absolutely, it's the typical sort of soccer field surrounded by a school and most of the local homes. There are lots of families who really concentrated around the town itself. But as an example of the kinds of opportunities that you can find in this kind of area, just a couple hundred yards down the road in this direction, right in Venado, you're in a private community where we have an enormous I think, over 3,000 square foot ocean view home for sale. It's actually 2 different living spaces where you've got a first floor apartment you could rent out, second floor really comfortable living space as a single open area. Also has a huge pool and an 1.5 acres of land. And then right here, just outside of town, behind this little gate, and I feel bad I don't have my sign up here, you could get a house that's fully ready to move in, a Costa Rican place with a beautiful little patio out into the garden, and they're asking $249,000, which, you know, both of those put you within 10-15 minute walks to the beach. You're here in Venado on this nice semi-asphalt stuff, and you know, down in this direction, you're out at Playa Marbella, a world-famous surf break, in about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm standing in front of a property that could be one of the reasons this area eventually provides huge return to people who bought in while everything was cheap. This is a massive 200+ acre beachfront property that's for sale as a single parcel with a ton of coastline. The total asking price is near $30 million. And as you can see, this is an incredible possible site for a resort, a luxury gated community, or any kind of attraction that wants to be purely beachfront. The topography of this property lends itself to a really nice large development. And if somebody picks this up and puts an attraction here, then all of a sudden this area will change. By the way, on a somewhat related note, if you have close to $30 million and you're interested in establishing the first ever Costa Rica Matte theme park, be sure to send me an email to matt@costaricamatte.com. Here we're coming through the next absolutely beautiful Costa Rican community on the coast here, which is called Playa Lagarto. There's actually a vibrant local fishing culture here at Playa Lagarto. You'd have fishermen arriving up here at the port every day. And this is another location where, for example, to our left, you can find all kinds of opportunities to pick up properties that people undervalue because this part of the coastline is still so quaint and undiscovered. Here we're arriving in the community of Playa Lagarto itself, which is the second Costa Rican community on our journey south here. There's a very vibrant local fishing culture in this community. You can actually come down here and buy fresh fish when the season is right and the fishermen are successful. And you have just an absolutely another charming, truly Costa Rican spot where you don't really see the effects of development. In just a couple minutes, we'll be back on a dirt road as we head towards the next community. Here we're coming through the community of Marbella. Most foreigners know Marbella for the surf break because it absolutely is one that attracts advanced surfers from around the world. This is another community that hasn't seen too much development just yet, although you do have developers who have set up a few gated communities. Because Marbella is not as close to the airport as, let's say, Jaco or Tamarindo, the lots in these gated communities can be extremely affordable by comparison. And in fact, some of the ocean view lots that you would find in the gated communities here in Marbella are among the most affordable ocean views you could find in any kind of private community here in Guanacaste. Your only cheaper alternatives would be completely untamed raw ocean view lots up in the mountains. As we come through town here, we could have turned to our right to go out to the surf break. Again, you'll see that we're on this semi-asphalt coating as we come through Marbella itself. There's a hardware store in town. There are grocery stores, though they're very small. The Marbella River is filled with sediment today because we've had our first rains, but as we head further south here, we will keep you posted. We're now at a beach that few human beings will ever see. In fact, I think within a 200-yard radius, there are more cows than people. This is an extremely secluded spot and one of dozens of different little beaches along this corridor that you could find to come hang out and spend a day absolutely by yourselves, picnicking or doing whatever to enjoy the Pacific. That's the kind of experience that you still have access to if you're willing to get into some of these more undiscovered areas. And by the way, I mean to say, with all of these gated communities and different projects available, it is not a straightforward process to understand where you might have a secure investment in this kind of area, especially because these developers and any kind of project in this area can be vulnerable to the ups and downs of the Costa Rica real estate market. You definitely need a trusted realtor to guide you in judging whether or not some of these projects, the different properties that you'll see in these fantastic areas, are actually fee simple titled, that the homeowners association is doing well, on and on and on. Let's keep going. Here's another super interesting landmark along our journey. We're just now about 45 minutes north of Nosara, maybe a little bit less. Behind me, if you drove down this road, you would get to an exclusive oceanfront resort called the Playa Azul Beach Club. Down there are condominiums that were built a long time ago. And as another further example of the kinds of opportunities here, we have an ocean view condo just down this road listed at $240,000. That's a 1,700 square foot unit. By comparison, right now, an ocean view condo in Tamarindo of those same measurements would at least cost you $500,000, if not more. Just past Marbella, we get to the town of San Juanillo, which is still purely Costa Rican, although development may be coming in the future. San Juanillo has this spectacular whale's tail-shaped beach. It's one of the places you would not see a lot of foreigners visiting. A ton of Costa Ricans love to come here for their beach vacation because those whale tail beaches are calm. You've got great swimming conditions. The water is beautiful. And as a small beach community, this is going to feel about as authentic as they come. One of the most incredible things about this area is that even with all these charming Costa Rican towns, the real Costa Rica along the highway, you have some incredible properties up into the mountains here that you would never expect to find based on what we were driving through down at the road. For example, I'm up here at one of my favorite exclusive luxury listings. This is a home that was built at the end of a very private, exclusive gated community. You would have no idea the community is actually here if you were just driving up and down the coastline. But because a lot of people wanted to have privacy, the real Costa Rica, and to get in an area that wasn't overwhelmed by foreigners, you find some of these amazing homes that offer you the opportunity to live at a place like this in a region that still feels very, very raw, natural, and absolutely like a part of Costa Rica that hasn't been changed by foreign influence. If you'd like to know more about this listing, do be sure to send me an email.